Born in southeastern France, Peter Julian Eymard's faith journey drew him from being a priest in the Diocese of Grenoble in 1834 to joining the Marists in 1839 to founding the Congregation of the Blessed Sacrament in 1856. In his teenage years, Peter asked his father to allow him to become a priest, but his father initially refused. His father, an artisan who made cutlery, wanted Peter to work in the family business, especially since Peter was his only surviving son. As a result, Peter studied Latin in private to prepare himself for eventual theological studies. In 1827, when Peter was 17 years old, his father finally consented, and Peter began to study under a hospice chaplain near Grenoble, about 20 miles from his home. The following year, his mother died and Peter returned home, partly due to his mother's death, partly to help his father, and partly because the priest chaplain did not teach him Latin as promised. In addition to those changes, Peter Julian coped with poverty, his father's initial opposition to his vocation, serious illness, a Jansenistic overemphasis on sin, and the difficulties of getting diocesan and later papal approval for his new religious community. His years as a Marist, including service as a provincial leader, saw the deepening of his Eucharistic devotion, especially through his preaching of 40 hours in many parishes. Inspired at first by the idea of reparation for indifference to the Eucharist, Peter Julian was eventually attracted to a more positive spirituality of Christ-centered love. Members of the men's community, which Peter founded, alternated between an active apostolic life and contemplating Jesus in the Eucharist. He and Marguerite Gulot founded the Women's Congregation of the Servants of the Blessed Sacrament. In every century, sin has been painfully real in the life of the Church. It is easy to give in to despair, to speak so strongly of human failings that people may forget the immense and self-sacrificing love of Jesus, as his death on the cross and his gift of the Eucharist make evident. Peter Julian knew that the Eucharist was key to helping Catholics live out their baptism and preach by word and example the good news of Jesus Christ. The life of the Apostle of the Eucharist has inspired people around the world to live a more dynamic and transformative Eucharistic life by uniting regular participation in the Mass, times of contemplation and prayer in the presence of the Blessed Sacrament, and sacrifice to others in Christ's name. Peter Julian Eymard was beatified in 1925 and canonized in 1962.